Hello everyone, my name is Goncalo Banha. I'm a co-founder and COO at Volt Games. First of all, let me thank you, Hypergames Conference, for the invitation and for the opportunity. It's a pleasure for me and for Volt Games to talk in this amazing conference about NFTs and how NFTs are changing the gaming industry. Just to give you a little bit of context on my side, my background is computer science. I'm a computer science engineer. I love to code, but I really enjoy playing video games. I've played video games since I was a little kid, and I joined both of my passions and I started developing games. In 2020, we founded Volt Games. Volt Games started as an hyper casual studio. We worked with the biggest and the best publishers in the market that you probably know. In 2021, we also started developing some in-house projects and games, being one of them Football Clash, which has more than 200,000 monthly active users. And in 2021, we also started studying the blockchain technology and how we could use that technology to improve our games. And in 2022, early this year, we got funded by Voodoo, and we are now developing blockchain games. It's enough about me. Let's start with the real topic here. So, in the last 2 years, in 2020 and 2021, there were a lot of different and interesting things happening on the internet. I will provide you just a quick example. Like NBA sold clips that were and still are available on YouTube for thousands of dollars. The first tweet ever that was made back in 2006, I believe, was sold for $2 million. And this image, the image of this cat, a simple PNG that is available all over the internet and that you can screenshot it and use it whatever you want, like I just did in my presentation, was sold for more than $500,000. But why are people willing to spend millions of dollars on an image or on videos that you can replicate and use it whenever you want? And as you probably guessed, the answer to this is NFTs. If you don't live under a rock, you have heard about NFTs. Everyone has. It gained massive popularity in all the social media like Twitter, Reddit. It's trending everywhere, even on Instagram. But besides all that popularity, people don't really understand the hype around it or the possibilities that NFTs open. So let's start with the most obvious question, which is, what is an NFT? Well, an NFT stands for Non Fungible Token, which doesn't really help because if you don't know what NFT means, you still don't know what Non Fungible Token means. So let's break it down, and I will start with the fungible part. So fungible, and if you look at the dictionary, is a very specific term that economists use when they are trying to refer to something that is replaceable by another identical item. So fungible is the same as replaceable, something that it is not unique, and non-fungible, it is non-replaceable. So there is only one in the world. It is a unique item. Let me provide a quick example because I always prefer giving practical examples. So imagine that you want to buy this soda can in the internet. You go to the website and you see that it costs $10. First of all, it would be a very expensive soda can, at least for Portugal, which is my country. Secondly, when you are trying to buy that soda can, you don't care if you are getting the one on the left, the one on the right, or the one on the middle. You just want to pay $10 and you will get a soda can. It doesn't really matter which one you are getting. And this is an example of a replaceable item because all of them are identical. It is a fungible item. On the other end, imagine that someone that you really like, your son or your daughter, writes a really cute message on the soda can. From that moment, that soda can is unique. You have an emotional value attached to it, and that soda can is no longer replaceable. It is a non-replaceable item or a non-fungible item because even if you go to some website, you won't find that soda can. That one is special and it is unique. And if you think about it, everything in our economy is either one or the other. For example, a pack of eggs, again, it is a fungible or a replaceable item because when you are buying one, they are all identical. You don't care if you are going to buy the one on the right, the one on the top, or the one on the left. It doesn't matter because they all look the same. On the other hand, we have Mona Lisa, which is obviously a non-fungible or a non-replaceable item because it is a unique piece of art and there's no way that you are going to get another one with the same value that the original one. So the non-fungible part is explained, so let's jump to the token. And to the token part, I will need to talk a little bit about blockchain, but I will try to simplify it as much as I can, so bear with me. So a blockchain is a database, but instead of being just for one user or a couple of users, it's public to everyone. So everyone with a computer and with the right tool can access the database and can check all the items inside of that database. That database stores transactions. Obviously, this is a very simplified table, but for the sake of time, I hope you stand with me. So, in this table, transactions are registered from a seller to a buyer. So imagine that John sold his Bitcoin to Peter, or sold one Bitcoin to Peter. In this table, it will appear that John sent one Bitcoin to Peter. So in the end of the day, every user can check the blockchain and check that Peter is one Bitcoin richer and that John no longer has one Bitcoin. And we can do the same with NFTs. So imagine that Kate sent the unique NFT with the ID 1321 to Bob. At the end of the day, we can check that Bob has that NFT, the NFT with the ID 1321, and that Kate no longer has that specific NFT. So an NFT basically is a unique digital item stored in a public database called blockchain. It is a unique digital item stored in blockchain. NFTs are usually grouped by collections. Let me just give you an example. This is one of the most known collections. This collection has 10,000 items, NFTs. So as you can see, they are all the art style is the same, but they all are unique. All of them are unique, but obviously that they share sometimes the eyes, sometimes the glasses, sometimes the clothes, but they are all unique. There are a lot of key points on NFTs, some important, and most of them are due to the blockchain technology. So the first one that I want to talk about is the true ownership. Due to the blockchain, anyone can see who is the owner of any NFT pretty easily. It is also possible to check if an NFT was held by any celebrity before, because everything is public and you can check the history of any NFT. That information will live forever in the blockchain, as I said, so the users don't have to worry if it is going to be deleted or not. This will make the user feel like he really owns the NFT because it is public to anyone and it will never disappear. NFTs also put an end to those really long boring contracts, replacing them with smart contracts. The smart contracts are the ones that define the rules. One of the most common rules is the limit, so is how many items that a specific NFT collection have. In this case, on the last side, the limit was 10,000, as I said. And another common rule is regarding royalties, because every time that a user sells an NFT to another user, the creator of the NFT collection will get some percentage of that sale. In this case, 4%. The value of the NFT, it only depends on a user. So if a user is willing to pay $10 or $20 for that NFT is now worth $20. As you can imagine, there are NFTs of all kinds in a lot of different areas, and I will just enumerate some. It started with art. This is probably the biggest and the most known collection, or the NFT collection. It is called the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Besides art, this collection has some kind of utility where the users that have this NFT or some of these NFTs can go to VIP parties, either on yachts or in big houses, mansions. A lot of celebrities own one, and it is really expensive because of that. There are also NFTs in the sports world. As I said, NBA already sold video clips for thousands of dollars, and other sports are joining them. gaming, that I will talk about next, and music, because some artists are already sold and are trying to sell now their albums as NFTs. One of the big points for me for NFTs is that NFTs must have some kind of utility. Right now, most of the projects don't have any kind of utility. They are just assets or just art, and most of those projects will no longer be relevant in 2 years because there are a lot of millions of projects, and we can't have a lot of projects without any kind of utility. So the NFTs that have some kind of utility will stand out. And there is one place where it's pretty easily to have digital assets with some kind of utility, which is in gaming. Uh, as you might understand, NFTs in gaming can be a big thing. We believe that in Volt. We really believe that, and most of the companies also believe that. In gaming, we can do that. Every digital item has some kind of utility inside the game, and that's where I will try to cover, and I will try to give a couple of examples. Let me just start with some statistics. So in 2020, there were $100 million worth of transactions, and in the next year, that value jumped to 25 billion, which is a crazy difference. And almost 20% of that revenue, of those 25 billion, is regarding games. This was in 2021, but I believe that in 2022 or in the next year, that percentage will be much higher because now there are most and better companies working on this kind of games, and I can't wait to check the statistics for the next year. What could be an NFT in gaming? So, if you think about it, it can be the characters. The characters can have some unique stats or some unique powers that define them. It can be dance moves, like on every game we have dance moves now. It can be skins. It can be assets to customize the environment, like stadiums, like lands, like some simple and separated assets that you can then create your house or your world. It can be items, for example, unique swords with specific stats, or unique pistols with also specific stats or specific powers. It can be passes. Imagine that instead of having a premium pass that the user pays every month, you could have an NFT that he paid once, and then after the user don't want to play the game anymore, you would just sell the pass to another player, and that player will keep going and keep playing the game. And if you think about it, and if you get creative enough, it can be anything. So we can adjust the game, or we can adjust the NFTs to be any kind of item in our game. Obviously, that for this to work, we need to have some benefits for the players, because otherwise players won't like it. And there are a couple of benefits for the players. One of them being that players own the item. Even if the server gets discontinued or the server gets shut down for some reason, players can prove that they played the item, and they can even sell the item after that. So the item won't be stuck on the inventory on the server that no longer exists. Collectors also value rarity and authenticity, and with NFTs it is possible to prove how many NFTs of a certain type exist and that they are unique. The items are limited, and there's control over inflection. So, as I said, because of the smart contract, people know that the developer cannot add thousands and thousands of items, so it doesn't influence the value and rarity. So if the user has a really rare value, a rare item, he will know that that item will always be rare. Everyone is public, everyone can check the history, check who owns the items, and prove that they own the item really easily. And probably the biggest benefit of all is that the players can be rewarded with real value just by playing the game. This mechanic or feature is called play to earn, and I will dive deeper in a couple of slides. There are also some benefits for the developer, some problems that NFTs and blockchain can fix. So the first one being the gray market activity. thanks to the NFT, we will get rid of this great market activity, because there are a lot of games, as you probably know, that you have secondary markets activity that are not allowed by the developer, because people resell things and items and the game developers don't get any kind of royalty. In this case, and with NFTs, you can actually use a royalty system and get some percentage of a sale that happens after the first buy. So every time, as I said before, with the smart contract, every time you sell an NFT, the developer will get some kind of royalty or percentage of the sale. You can eliminate scammers because the blockchain is fully deterministic. So if a user is spending the money, the user is 100% getting the item. There's no such thing as the user spending the money and doesn't get the item. Blockchain deals with billions and billions of dollars, and because of its architecture, they are ultra secure, they are unhackable. There are new marketing opportunities because users can actually earn money or earn real value by playing the game. So we can incentivize the users to play more. For example, we can actually give some kind of really limited NFT if the players win some tournaments or if they go to a certain checkpoint, and users will go crazy trying to get these blockchain items, and obviously that the rotation of the games will increase, and that's the best thing for the developers. So as I said before, play to earn is one of the biggest benefits for the developers, for the players. Is a new system that is being used by a lot of games now. It all started with Axie Infinity in 2021, and as the name suggests, play to earn is where when users play the game in order to earn real world value. So imagine that the more or the better the user plays, it can be rewarded with NFTs related to the game or some specific cryptocurrency, and both of those items can be then traded by real money like fiat money, USD, euro, any kind of money. The play to earn is causing a revolution in some countries, like in Philippines, where millions of players now earn more playing video games than they would earn when working on a normal job. So Axie Infinity, it is probably the biggest play to earn game at the moment. It started with a turn-based PvP card game. The NFT is the main character. It's this blob right here. So each of these characters is one NFT, and users need three axes or three NFTs to play the game. Just some statistics: each axie costs around $21. They have 2 million daily active users, and the total trading volume is almost 4 billion. They have this token, SLP token, which is an in-game token that in the market it costs 2 cents at the moment, or the value is 2 cents, and the users get rewarded with SLP tokens when they win battles or when they complete daily quests. So just by playing the game, the user will get SLP token that can then be sold by dollar or by euro. There's also the sandbox, which is probably the blockchain project that has most hype around it. It has already giant brands partnership, and the game isn't even launched. They have partnership already with Adidas, Snoop Dogg, and Walking Dead. And just some stats: in the last 7 days, there were almost 700 NFTs sold. The average price is $3K, and the trading volume is more than $5 million. This is just on the last 7 days. The users that buy lands can build games on them. A land is that image on the left, and the owners can create assets, NFTs, pretty easily, and then can monetize their lands in the multiple ways. One of them can monetize their games with new NFTs. They can rent the land to another users that are willing to pay just to have a piece of land, and they can do branding deals. Imagine that you have a land where everyone is going to play, obviously that there are some brands that are willing to pay you just to have their brand's name there. This is a really big point for Volt Games. We believe that most of the projects and most of the games right now, they are using the technology play to earn, as I said, but we don't believe that's the right approach to this, because that implies that the user are just playing to earn something, and that's not the goal of a game. The goal of the game, or of any game, is to have fun. The game needs to be fun. NFTs won't save your game, so the game really needs to be addictive, and the fun game, the fun part is the most important thing. Earning is just a secondary that we can add into the games, but if the game isn't fun, it won't be successful. This is our game. Volt Games is creating Metastar Strikers. It's going to be a 3v3 football game. We are going to launch probably in the last of this year, near the World Cup, because it is a football game. And I would be really happy if you read the white paper, and if you have some feedback, please let me know. And to sum up, this is just the tip of the iceberg regarding NFTs. I think gaming is going to be such an insane place in the next 5 to 7 years. It won't be... I think the monetization strategy will be a little bit different, but I think it's going to benefit not only the developers, but also the players, and that's the goal of any publisher or any studio. Many people are hating on NFTs, see NFTs as a negative thing, because there are a lot of scams nowadays, but I believe, and we believe at Volt, that with the new big companies, joining the NFT market, like Instagram, that just announced that they will use NFTs, or Twitter, NFTs will be viewed as a better thing. And obviously that now there are a lot of scams, but I believe that in the future the biggest and the best games will change that opinion on the players. So this is it on my side. I can't wait for the next 5 to 7 years to check how the industry developed. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I think we are running out of time. So please, if you have any questions, write them in the chat, and I will try to answer the best as I can and the fast as I can. And if you have any questions after all, just ping me on LinkedIn. I will be available, and I will try to answer all of you. Thank you so much for your attention. Have a nice day and keep going in this amazing conference. Thank you. Bye-bye.